So let's talk about unintended consequences because that's kind of the story of the terrible laws that people pass in the United States. And it's also kind of the story of what's happening in politics. Right now, you're seeing so many people, Trump voters, who say, this isn't what I voted for. Donald Trump said he was going to dismantle the Department of Education, but I didn't want my school system to lose funding. So let's talk about this in terms of all these just terrible laws that are being posited and some of them being passed related to gender affirming care. Now, as soon as I say gender affirming care, most people immediately start thinking of trans people. And, that's fair. Trans people often need gender affirming care for various reasons, but trans people are unicorns. They represent a tiny percentage of the American population. The vast amount of gender affirming surgery that occurs in the US and gender affirming treatment is performed on cis people, heteronormative people. Right here is a study done on testosterone use in adolescent males. It is routinely prescribed, you can see the study says, in adolescent males who have constitutional delay of growth and puberty or hypogonadism. Testosterone use is much more likely to be prescribed and used to treat cis heteronormative males to get them through puberty, to get them through their teenage years, than it is ever used to treat a trans person. In fact, although they will give gender affirming care in this case to a trans child, they do not perform surgeries on minors who are trans. The other thing that is really common among, say, a trans adult who wants gender affirming surgery is some sort of either breast enhancement or breast removal. But again, trans people are a tiny, tiny fraction of our population, a wonderful tiny fraction. The vast majority of people who get breast enhancement or breast reduction are cis heteronormative females. You'll see here these statistics. This is as of 2020. Breast augmentation performed on females aged 13 to 19, 3,233. Implant removals, breast lifts over 1,000, breast reduction nearly 2,000. There's breast reduction in men, nearly 3,000. This is all gender affirming care. So when you pass laws trying to make it illegal to perform gender affirming care, you're making it illegal to give young men who need testosterone treatment the treatment they need. You're making it impossible for a young girl aged 13 to get the kind of gender affirming care that she needs. And may I remind you that another form of gender affirming care is hair transplants. Do you really think that trans people are the number one recipients of hair transplant surgery? Nope. Gender affirming care is for everybody, every American. And one of the unintended consequences of trying to hurt this tiny little sliver of the population is that you end up hurting hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of others. What we're seeing over and over and over is people who voted for some form of disruption and destruction, but never thought that they or the people they love would be disrupted and destroyed. That's why you really have to think very carefully, not just about the talking points of any law, but also the impacts of the laws that are proposed, the impacts of the policies that are proposed, because it might surprise you what the impact is and how that will end up affecting you. Have a great one. And as always, please be kind.